Hi friends, good morning. Welcome to our next tutorial on Core Java. So today here we will concentrate on JVM architecture. So last videos we seen that features. In the features we discussed something about this JVM. So right now we'll concentrate on JVM architecture, how this architecture could be. So for this, first of all, when we are compiling our programs, that could be in the form of dot class file. So when we are compiling this dot class file, so this dot class file can execute, and here when it is executing, here it can be generate something. So that is nothing but here it's a class loader subsystem. So when we are compiling that, it goes to subsystem of this class loader. Means it is a whatever the class we have in our program. Like I created my first class, my second class, whatever the class we created, it should be the class it can create this. So once this class loader class is done, from here it goes next step. Here this next step has many steps, so that we'll discuss in detail here. So here majorly we can say has 5 different steps in this. So we'll write that first. Applying 5 steps. So here total there are 5 steps. The first step here is that is a method area. So which method it executing, that area it should defines. So it can indicates that method area. What is the method area? We are so this method area first step is here. It says that what is the method area of that, it can define that. So then once this method area, then it goes to memory, that is an heap memory. Then it goes to Java stack. It's internal. These all are, we could not write any program for this. It's all at the internal disk. And then is this PC register. We'll discuss. Don't worry. We'll discuss each and every word in detail in this video itself. So that is PC register. PC register. Then after this PC register, here this is the final Java native stack. Native stacks. This is the native stack. This all means this completely, this red box, all this we called as a runtime data areas. While running this can be runtime data areas. This we can say as runtime data areas. This we can say as a runtime data areas. So what happened this, whenever we are compiling this, that can be here. So it can comes to here, like it can be executed from here to here, or it can be up and down, either top to bottom or bottom to top. It can be executed from here this. So then after this again it is goes to next steps. That next steps also here we can separate those in a two different ways. That is first one here, execution engine. This is very important, this execution engine. This execution engine is nothing but So this execution engine is nothing but whatever we discussed, JIT compiler or interpreter in the features. So that is nothing but here this is execution engine. Execution engine. Then on top of this, again here we have two different kinds of steps are there. One is the interpreter, other one is the JIT compiler. So first one is the interpreter. Then second one is the JIT compiler. So JIT, just in time compiler. Just in time compiler. Then after this is the native interface. Then native libraries. This, and finally here on top of this, now it can be the operating system. This is on top of this, it can be, yeah, this is the OS, operating system. That can be Windows, Linux, whatever it should be, that is this. So now here this is here this can be here to here it can execute, or here to here it can execute. This is also here to here it execute. So this can be here to here it execute like this. Then here to here. Every place it should be two ways. Either this can be from here to there, there to here. It can be everywhere. It's in a common. So now we'll see each and every word in detail. First we'll concentrate on .class file. So the .class file we know, because in a Java, when we are storing any file that we are storing, we are compiling each and every class, that is in the form of .class. So that is for nothing but .class. Then class loader subsystem. So this class loader subsystem is nothing but, so the class loader subsystem will take .class file, as the input and perform some actions. What those actions? Operations. Actions is nothing but its operations. It will take .class file and it will perform few actions. It will load the .class file into JVM memory. So it will take this and it can load the data into here. That is first step of this .class files, this. And here, before loading the file, it will verify whether the bytecode instructions are valid or not with the help of bytecode verifier. So in this, again internally there is a bytecode verifier. So before submitting the data into method area, it can check this, whatever the code writing by any developer, it should be in a proper format or not. Means that .class file, it can check that .class file it is proper or not. Then if the byte, after next step, what is the next of this class loader subsystem, that is, if the bytecode instructions are valid, then it will load bytecode instruction into different areas of the JVM called runtime areas. So after this, once it is verified, it can be send the data according to the situation in different areas whatever we have here now: method area, heap, Java stack, PC register, Java native stack. In this area areas, that data can be sent to this. So that is nothing but heap class loader can do that. Then here now, what is this runtime data areas? These areas are available at runtime to store different code on various data areas are. Means this is, it's not a physical thing, it's only virtual. When we are running, it can become a virtual and it can be disappear after this. So that we can call as a runtime data areas. So and that first one is the method area. This one, method area. What is this method area? This area can be used for storing all the class code along with their method code. So what is the codes are there that it can be stored along with the method code, whatever methods we use that code. Then next, heap. Second one, heap. Heap is, this is can be used to store the objects. Whatever the objects are there in that class, it can be stored on that. Then Java stack. This area can be used for storing the methods that are under execution. While execution, it can be stored that data. The Java stack can be considered as a collection of frames where each frame will contain the information on that particular method. Means it can be stored by frame, what it is execution. While execution, it should store frame by frame and it can be executed. And each method has their own data. Then next is the PC register. So that we can say as a program counter also. PC register or program counter. So this register will contain the addresses of each instruction that has to be executed. It can be allocating some memory that can be done by this PC counter. It has some addresses. The next, Java native stack, the last one here. The Java native stack can be used for storing non-Java code during the migration of the application from Java non-Java code to Java code. If any non-Java code we are converting this, that can be helpful on this. Non-Java code will be called as native code. Non-Java code will be called as a native code. Any if native code that we are converting this using our application, that we can say that can be stored in a Java native. So this is runtime environment, and runtime environment depends on the situation. Each areas has been, it should be this. Next here, execution engine. So the execution engine is responsible for executing the task, executing the Java program. It contains again two. One is interpreter and JIT compiler. So both the parts of execution engine are responsible for executing the code parallelly, reducing the execution time and thereby improving the performance of the application. This we already seen in the features. It's a similar. This both interpreter as well as JIT compilers are executed parallelly to reduce the time and improving the performance of the application. So that is nothing but here execution time engine in a 2. And here's one small note from this JIT compiler. So the JIT compiler is designed by Hotspot Technologies, and the code executed by JIT compiler will call as hotspots. So it should be, we can say that is hotspots also. The next one is this as library. So here in this library there are two is there. One is the native interface, other one is the native libraries. First of all, we'll see what is library. Library is collection of predefined programs of the language. So these both are the libraries, but what does this next? First we'll concentrate on a native interface. Native interface will help to load this one. Native interface will help to load native code from libraries into the Java native stack. If any other language codes are there, that we can convert into this, it can be helpful on this. And the next, native libraries. The collection of libraries of non-Java languages will be together called as non-Java native libraries. That is, any non-Java codes that we are using in our program, that we can say as this. And finally, OS, that is an operating system. To execute a Java program, the JVM requires some resources like memory, processor, etc. Those all are from the machine. So here we need memory as well as the processor from the machine. To get those resources from the machine, the JVM has to communicate with an operating system. So whatever the Java code we are writing, that we are executing, that if we need to this, that can be communicated by this. So this is JVM architecture. This is all are virtual. It's no physical thing in this. So this is this. So if you have any questions, please ask in the comments. We'll share that. Also, each and every field description is provided in a link in a description provided link. Also, to get an updates, please subscribe Android Indian channel. Thank you for watching this. Thank you.